January 7th, 2024, the 81st Annual Golden Globe Awards. When we arrived to the Best Actor in a Motion Picture Drama category, one of two things was about to happen. The win would go to Cillian Murphy for his remarkable performance in Oppenheimer, and he would go on to dominate the category the next few weeks all the way to Oscar night, or the win at the Golden Globes would instead go to Bradley Cooper for Maestro, the big, showy, dramatic, physical, transformative performance that awards voters often go for. As he had proven in countless interviews, Cooper gave everything of himself over to Maestro in his lead role, as well as his directing, for apparently years and years. And after a decade of countless nominations, dozens and dozens across the Golden Globe Awards, Critics' Choice Awards, Screen Actors Guild Awards, BAFTA Awards, and Academy Awards, Maestro appeared to be the vehicle that would give Bradley Cooper some big wins, including, at last, his elusive Oscar. I don't think I need to tell you how things worked out. Cillian Murphy won everything this past award season except for the Critics' Choice Award, which went to Paul Giamatti for The Holdovers, and at one ceremony after another, Bradley Cooper was forced to stay in his seat and smile and clap for yet again somebody else winning lots of trophies. I think I agree with most everyone that Murphy was the rightful winner this year for Best Actor, but I was also kind of perplexed how Cooper became the so-called villain of the award season. So much hate was sent his way, so much resentment that he seemed to be actively campaigning for his first Oscar win, and wanted that win, wanted it bad. I found all of this anti-Bradley Cooper discourse unnecessary and troubling. This is a guy who clearly cares deeply about his craft, who's been putting in the work decade after decade, who has delivered many great performances, and think what you want of Maestro, I have some issues with it. He is excellent in that movie, and did not in any way deserve all this vitriol. It's kind of crazy to think about Bradley Cooper's intense awards journey over the last decade or so, especially at the Oscars. His first nomination arrived in early 2013 in Best Actor for Silver Linings Playbook, and his 10th, 11th, and 12th nominations arrived this year for his writing, producing, and starring in Maestro. That's 12 Academy Award nominations in just 11 years, and what's even more insane is that he still has never won. What films has he been nominated for? Who has he lost to? Was there a performance he should have won for but didn't? And what's the closest he's ever come to an Oscar victory? My name is Brian Rowe, this is the Awards Contender, and it's time, my friends, for Bradley Cooper and the elusive Oscar. To start, let's go back to the beginning. Bradley Cooper was born on January 5, 1975 to Father Charles and Mother Gloria in Pennsylvania. He became interested in filmmaking and acting from an early age, David Lynch's The Elephant Man having a strong influence, and in 2000 he received an MFA in acting from the Actors Studio Drama School in New York City. Cooper missed his graduation ceremony because he was filming his feature film debut, Wet Hot American Summer. His next big film role arrived in 2005 with the smash hit summer comedy Wedding Crashers, starring Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn, where he played the arrogant boyfriend of Rachel McAdams. For the next few years, he continued working in a variety of film and TV projects, but his movie star status truly exploded with 2009's comedy blockbuster The Hangover, co-starring Ed Helms and Zach Galifianakis.
Don't listen to this maniac. Let's think this thing through.
Finish him!
At the end of his first decade of film acting, Bradley Cooper had quickly climbed his way to the A-list, but his big hits had been comedies, not dramas, and so nobody could have predicted he had 12 Oscar nominations coming his way. However, in 2011, he had a dramatic breakthrough in the techno-thriller Limitless, and then a year later came Silver Linings Playbook. As Pat, a divorced man with bipolar disorder trying to find his way in life, Cooper took hold of this complex role and gave it his everything, and it still remains one of his finest performances. His moments of rage, confusion, excitement, sweetness. He gets to show a range of emotions in Silver Linings Playbook, and it didn't hurt having Jennifer Lawrence, Robert De Niro, Jackie Weaver, and Chris Tucker by his side.
Hey, calm down! Hey,
Leave me alone!
can I just explain myself, please? I didn't want Nikki to think that I was associated with that kind of sexual behavior because I've never done anything like that, okay?
Silver Linings Playbook truly took award season by storm, and for the first time, Bradley Cooper was along for the ride. Despite his success in many hit comedies like The Wedding Crashers and The Hangover, he never received a major awards nomination until Silver Linings Playbook, when he got into Best Actor at Golden Globes, Critics' Choice, SAG, BAFTA, Film Independent Spirit, and the Oscars. Yep, pretty much everywhere he could have. However, and this might not be a surprise, he lost at every ceremony because 2012 was the year of Steven Spielberg's Lincoln and that powerhouse performance of Daniel Day-Lewis. Cooper was never going to beat Day-Lewis, and he wouldn't have beaten Hugh Jackman in Les Miserables either, because Jackman won the Golden Globe Award in Best Actor in a Motion Picture Comedy or Musical. Cooper couldn't even win at the Film Independent Spirit Awards, where his film cleaned up in lots of categories, but he lost in Best Actor to John Hawkes for The Sessions. Except for Best Actor in a Comedy at the Critics' Choice Awards, Cooper went home empty-handed all season. Still, it must have been surreal for Cooper to be nominated for his first Academy Award in a category that included Hugh Jackman, Denzel Washington, Joaquin Phoenix, and Daniel Day-Lewis. Bradley Cooper's Oscar recognition for Silver Linings Playbook turned out to be no fluke, and here began his astonishing dominance at the Academy Awards in his number of nominations, the man returning to the ceremony almost every year since 2013. What was Oscar nomination number 2? Well, it was 1 year after Silver Linings Playbook for another David O. Russell movie, this time in the Best Supporting Actor category for American Hustle, where in another ensemble of great actors he played the wild FBI agent Richie.
You playing me? Are we doing this? You playing him?
Cooper had an element of comic relief in that film critics and awards voters responded to, and so during the following award season his performance was singled out alongside his co-stars Amy Adams, Christian Bale, and Jennifer Lawrence. He got in at Golden Globes, Critics' Choice, BAFTA, and the Oscars. Weirdly, the only big precursor ceremony he missed in Best Supporting Actor for American Hustle was at SAG, where his slot went to either Daniel Bruhl for Rush or James Gandolfini for Enough Said, the latter a posthumous nomination. However, at SAG that year, Cooper won what is really his only major trophy for acting at an award ceremony still to this day, the SAG Ensemble Prize for American Hustle, which went to 12 of its cast members. Cooper was the one who accepted the prize.
And to be also acknowledged alongside of the other incredible ensembles that are here in this room tonight.
And then soon after that came the Oscars, where in his category were Barkhad Abdi for Captain Phillips, Jared Leto for Dallas Buyers Club, Michael Fassbender for 12 Years a Slave, and Jonah Hill for The Wolf of Wall Street. I do think this is the least of Cooper's acting Oscar nominations, a distant 5th in this category, and really he was just happy to be here, swept up in the overperformance that award season of American Hustle. The choice in Best Supporting Actor that season was Leto, who won pretty much everywhere except for BAFTA, where Abdi took the prize in a beautiful moment for the actor in his debut performance. At the Oscars, Cooper might have lost again, but he was the face of the selfie that broke the internet.
Hey, that's good. Look at us.
Nice.
Oh, yes! We did it!
Next up, Cooper was about to pull off something very few actors have enjoyed throughout the years, at least one nomination at the Oscars over 3 consecutive years, because at the end of 2014, Cooper was back with a mammoth box office hit in American Sniper from director Clint Eastwood. The film tells the true story of Navy SEAL sniper Chris Kyle on the battlefield who struggles to leave war behind when he returns home. Now, the awards trajectory for American Sniper is an interesting one, completely different than Silver Linings Playbook and American Hustle, which both did very well right out of the gate. American Sniper was a very late release, opening in a handful of theaters on Christmas Day and then going wide on January 16, 2015. Potentially because not enough awards voters had a chance to see it yet, American Sniper received 0 nominations at Golden Globes, SAG, and despite the film's box office success, it didn't appear like American Sniper was going to make much of an impact at the Oscars. But then momentum started building for this late release. Eastwood scoring a DGA Award nomination, the movie getting into the PGA Awards. On Oscar nominations morning, the film got into 6 categories, missing in Best Director, oddly, but landing an adapted screenplay, picture, and actor for Cooper. And this time Cooper was a double nominee, also one of the 5 producers of the film. 5 of Cooper's 12 Oscar nominations to date are in the Best Picture category, American Sniper's first full producer credit. Now, to be honest, I wasn't thrilled when Cooper surprised in Best Actor at the Oscars for American Sniper, because this meant Jake Gyllenhaal was pushed aside for his career best performance in Nightcrawler, which 100% deserved to be recognized by the Academy that year, but in a field that included Steve Carell for Foxcatcher, Benedict Cumberbatch for The Imitation Game, Michael Keaton for Birdman, and Eddie Redmayne for The Theory of Everything, I did think Cooper had an outside shot at a win for American Sniper if Keaton and Redmayne's votes managed to be split and Cooper quietly rose to the surface. Him being on his third acting nomination in 3 years helped, as did his movie being a blockbuster and getting into Best Picture, and him playing a real-life person too, but alas, Academy voters made the safe choice and gave the prize to Redmayne. Cooper didn't win in picture either because that year the choice was between Boyhood and Birdman, and they went with Birdman. Still, despite 4 Oscar losses in just 3 years, it seems certain by now that the next time Bradley Cooper returned to the Academy Awards, he'd probably be picking up a gold trophy for something, even if it wasn't in acting. It took 4 more years for him to return as a nominee this time. His performances in Aloha, Burnt, Joy, and War Dogs not getting much acclaim. Probably his most beloved role around this time was as Rocket in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. In 2018, Cooper reunited with Clint Eastwood for his end-of-the-year drama The Mule, but it wasn't his role in that film that brought him back to the Oscars the following year. It was his feature directorial debut, of course, A Star is Born, starring Cooper and Lady Gaga, the 4th version of the classic tale about an artist's rise to fame and fortune and all the heartache in between.
No, but I embarrassed you. I embarrassed you in that.
I'm not embarrassed of you.
It was so wrong.
This film was in development for many years. Clint Eastwood at one point had talks to direct Beyoncé in 2011. By 2015, Bradley Cooper had signed on as director, refusing an upfront salary and taking a back-end deal instead. He didn't want to star in the film at first, but reluctantly agreed. And after Beyoncé and Adele had circled the project, Lady Gaga eventually came on board to make her starring feature film debut. A Star is Born premiered on the film festival circuit in the fall of 2018, and it became a smash hit with audiences when it hit theaters in October, eventually earning more than $400 million worldwide on a budget of $36 million. The critics adored it too, the film appearing on multiple top 10 lists. The performances of Cooper and Gaga singled out as 2 of the year's best. There was no doubt 2018's A Star is Born was going to be a major awards player, but the question was it going to win any major prizes? At the Golden Globes, the film received 5 nominations, including Actress in a Drama for Gaga, as well as Director and Actor in a Drama for Cooper, but the only thing it won there was Best Original Song. At Critics' Choice, Gaga tied with Glenn Close for the Best Actress prize, but then at SAG, she lost to Close, and Cooper went home empty-handed as well. At BAFTA, Cooper was nominated for a whopping 5 prizes. You heard that right, 5. Best Film, Best Actor, Best Director, Best Adapted Screenplay, and Best Original Music. He did win something that night and gave a speech for, drum roll please, original music.
Well, I got to fulfill a dream that I never thought would ever happen, to compose and arrange music, and I got to do it with the greatest musicians in the world, Lady Gaga and Lucas Nelson, who I share this with tonight.
I guess that was something, but I'm sure Cooper would have enjoyed a win in a couple other categories too. Despite A Star is Born receiving an impressive 8 Oscar nominations, Cooper was let down there as well. The big snub was after receiving Best Director nominations pretty much everywhere all season, including DGA. He missed in the category at the Oscars. Here was his reaction to that news as he discussed with Oprah Winfrey.
The first thing I felt was embarrassment, actually.
Oh.
Well, think about it. I felt embarrassed that I didn't do my part. So I'll work on that. It'll be,
Yeah.
To make matters worse, at the 91st Academy Awards, his movie kept losing, only taking Best Original Song.
Bradley, there is not a single person on the planet that could have sang this song with me but you. Thank you for believing in us.
His performance with Lady Gaga for the winning song Shallow was one of the most talked about moments of the night, but in a season, let's be honest, where Cooper should have been winning some Best Actor prizes, it was already a foregone conclusion he was going home empty-handed there too. Best Actor in early 2019 belonged to Rami Malek for his performance as Freddie Mercury in Bohemian Rhapsody, a divisive film some people liked. Malek won at Golden Globes, SAG, and BAFTA before his predictable Oscar victory, and yeah, this is not one of the better wins in this category as of late. You could argue Cooper was in 3rd place all season given that Christian Bale won prizes at Golden Globes and Critics' Choice, But seriously, it still strikes me as odd that Cooper was tossed aside for the most part that whole season for a film critics and audiences adored, and given that A Star is Born marked his 4th acting Oscar nomination without a win, you'd think he could have been the frontrunner. So why was Cooper never a serious threat in Best Actor in early 2019? I think it comes down to 2 things. 1, the narrative around that movie all season was Lady Gaga, not Bradley Cooper, and 2, Academy members rarely give Oscar trophies to actors who direct themselves. In nearly 100 years of the ceremony, only 2 people have directed themselves to gold trophies: Laurence Olivier for Hamlet in the late 1940s and Roberto Benigni for Life is Beautiful in the late 1990s. That's it. That's all. And so Cooper also directing 2018's A Star is Born gave him an uphill battle at actually winning prizes in Best Actor. But, as is always the case with Bradley Cooper, he'd be back at the Academy Awards, and soon. He returned as a nominee the very next year as one of the producers of Joker, which got into Best Picture, but that year's race always came down to either 1917 or Parasite, and he was just happy to be there. He got another Best Picture nomination 2 years after that for Nightmare Alley, Guillermo del Toro's big awards player at the end of 2021, where it came up pretty short, only getting into picture and 3 technical categories.
Okay, Coda.
Cooper never got any momentum for Best Actor nominations for Nightmare Alley, but he did have an outside shot of getting into Best Supporting Actor that season for his standout performance in Paul Thomas Anderson's Licorice Pizza, where he played real-life movie producer John Peters.
Do you know who I am?
Yeah.
Do you know who my girlfriend is?
Barbra Streisand?
Barbra Streisand.
Sand.
Sand, yeah, like sands.
Cooper got into Best Supporting Actor at SAG, which boded well for his Oscar chances, but despite the film getting into Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Original Screenplay, all the actors from Licorice Pizza were left behind. But it was okay, all was well, because by 2022, Bradley Cooper was already deep into preparation for what was going to be his giant awards juggernaut. He was behind the camera for the second time, he was the lead actor again, playing a celebrated real-life musical artist. The incredible Carey Mulligan would be by his side for this one on screen, Steven Spielberg producing the movie with him. Oh yes, by all accounts, 2023's Maestro, in which he plays famed conductor-composer Leonard Bernstein, looked to be, finally, Bradley Cooper's ticket to winning his elusive Oscar.
But I can only imagine that it was spurred on by jealousy, darling. Jealousy of whatever it is that I do. And it's plagued me all my life, and I apologize for it plaguing you now.
In 2017, Spielberg thought about directing Cooper in Maestro, but when Spielberg dropped out, Cooper decided to make this film his next directorial project. As he talked about in multiple interviews during the 2024 award season, Cooper worked diligently to bring Leonard Bernstein to life, meeting with his family members, and apparently studying and practicing the art of conducting for as many as 6 years. When the film shot in the summer of 2022, Cooper had to often sit in the makeup chair for 5 hours before getting on set to both act in and direct his movie. It had to have been quite the challenge, but Cooper was determined to get it right and make the best movie he could, and upon the film's festival premiere in the fall of 2023, most of the response was positive, with a lot of praise given to the central performances by Cooper and Mulligan. Buzz on Maestro continued to build in the closing months of the year leading up to its launch on Netflix in December. And then, as expected, lots of awards nominations followed suit: 4 at Golden Globes, 8 at Critics' Choice, 2 at SAG, 7 at BAFTA, and 7 at the Oscars. In terms of nominations, Maestro did about as well as we expected, but was Cooper finally going to win a major prize in picture, director, or actor? As I said at the start of this video, it all came down to Golden Globes. If he could have taken that Best Actor in a Drama prize there, I do think a narrative would have started to build on Cooper's lack of awards throughout the years, which could have earned him trophies at SAG and the Oscars too, but poor Bradley Cooper, 2023 was indeed the year of Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer, an unstoppable force at the box office in the summer and fall, earning nearly $1 billion at the worldwide box office and being a total behemoth that award season in Best Picture, Best Director, Best Supporting Actor for Robert Downey Jr., and yes, Best Actor for Cillian Murphy. At the start of the new year, I wasn't sure which way awards voters were going to lean in Best Actor. Would they go with more of the narrative for Cooper, hardworking actor with tons of nominations behind him, playing a real-life artist? Or would they go for Murphy, another hardworking actor who also gave a landmark performance playing a real-life figure in Oppenheimer, the better, more popular film? They went with Murphy all right, and once he took the prize at SAG, Cooper's Oscar chances were dead in the water. Yet again, he had to spend a long award season stuck to a chair, applauding someone else over and over and over again. I have to imagine this past award season was very hard for Bradley Cooper, that it wasn't just an honor to be nominated. You could see it in those interviews, in those roundtable discussions. He wanted to win this time. He was ready. He might have missed Best Director again, like he did for A Star is Born, but with Maestro he received his 10th, 11th, and 12th Oscar nominations in Original Screenplay, Picture, and Actor. He was never going to win in the former two categories, but there was a shot for Cooper in Best Actor if awards voters, again, had leaned in his direction, had bought into the narrative, had felt he was overdue, had been impressed enough by his transformative performance in Maestro. But nope, Bradley Cooper was kicked to the side again. His film went 0 for 7 at the 96th Academy Awards, and as of this recording, after receiving 12 nominations in just 11 years, he is still very much in search of his elusive Oscar. Nothing is in the can right now. He's reportedly directing his third film in a few months, Is This Thing On?, starring Cooper and Will Arnett. And there's been talk for years of Cooper bringing Steve McQueen's Frank Bullitt back to the big screen in a new film by Steven Spielberg, but who knows if that will ever happen. Ultimately, here's the bottom line. Bradley Cooper is an incredible talent, both in front of and behind the camera. He's proven he can do it all. Actor, director, producer, screenwriter, and he's proven he can make successful films with both critics and audiences. His big awards play for Maestro might have crashed and burned, but I still think the elusive Oscar for Bradley Cooper is coming. It might be on nomination 15, or 17, or even 20, but one day in the distant future, I do think Cooper will be on that Oscar stage holding that big and beautiful gold trophy at last. Thanks so much for watching and subscribing, and let me know in the comments below, what is your favorite Oscar nomination for Bradley Cooper? Do you think he should have won for something by now? We'll see you next time at the Awards Contender.